Hey, yo, bonus vid today. I'm not going to do one regarding the truth behind the smiles video today, but what I'm going to upload is this video now. Well, not right now, but I'll upload it when I've recorded it. I've just found out that GKR Karate are doing a direct debit system, which is basically how a lot of clubs run. Now, the problem with this, and this is a problem, is that if you don't train, you have already paid. So when you go to your bank, yes, you've paid. I think they said it was £72 for the month. Now that works out. I mean, that's for three people, but that works out at £6 per week, which is, you're training once a week. Now the thing with that is you can train 2, 3, 4 times a week, so you can train more. However, the majority of people will only train one time a week. They won't train 2 or 3 times a week. Okay. Because of travel and for whatever reasons. Now, again, Australianized thing. Is the Australians are pretty gung ho about doing certain things. They're just gung ho people anyway. They're just everything's awesome. It's a bit like that Lego song. Everything is awesome, and they actually do believe everything is awesome when it's not. So yeah, if you're planning on training once a week, then and you're going to do that, then £72 a month for three people is pretty average. It's pretty normal, really. But it's the fact that, you've got £72 coming out of your account for three people every single month. Okay. Now that's a lot of money. £72 a month is a lot of money. Particularly if, for example, you go on holiday for 2 weeks or you're ill. And if you look at how many times a week you train, you are potentially losing money, unless of course you are training 2+ times a week. Now, I suppose on top of that, that won't include any seminars that are being run. So you've got to pay extra for the seminars as well. So not only are you paying for training sessions that you may not use, you're also paying on top of that for your seminars, for your gradings, etc., etc. So what I suggest is that I've always liked the pay as you go system. I never liked even when it first came into GKR Karate, the direct debit system. I never liked that. And the majority of money that came into the region that I ran was from pay as you go. I wasn't really into the direct debit system at all, because I just didn't believe that people should pay for something they're not using. Now, the way I basically work it is that if you don't let me know you're not training, then yes, I'll charge you because it's discourteous. But if, for example, like I said, I don't know if I said in my last video or video before, that you that you've got an unforeseen circumstance like illness, that sort of thing. There is, do you know what? Please don't pay me, okay? Because you're not training. You see, to me, the direct debit system is all about the bottom line, and the bottom line for GKR Karate is money. That doesn't show an investment in people. Now, unless of course you are giving them money. So the only person that they've got any kind of investment in is the Queen's head on the dollar bill. On the Queen's head on the dollar bill. It's a bit double Dutch in it. Is the Queen's head on the £5 note or the £10 note that you're giving. That's all that really matters to them. Now, for me, I get a little bit, I get disheartened when people say, "Oh, I can't make training tonight," etc. So that's like, all right, well, fair enough, but it kind of guts me that they're not training, that they're not coming to class, because I'm not in it for the money. It wasn't until the back end of my probably last 5 years that I lost the interest for the money. I lost the interest for the growth. I lost the interest and I just wanted to do karate. That's on another video. So you got to look at it this way. Just ask yourself this question: Would you go to a restaurant, sit down at your table, ask the waiter to take an order? So you order, I don't know, lasagna. You order the lasagna, which is £6, and you then say, "Do you know what? Don't cook it, but here I'm going to pay for it anyway," and then walk out. Would you do that? Probably not. Would you go to the supermarket and buy your groceries and, fill your trolley up, total it all up, and then leave your trolley behind? No, you wouldn't. You got to be careful, particularly in this day and age. Money's tight. Money is tight as hell for people. So you got to think, do I want to be paying for something I'm not using? The answer should be no. If the answer is yes, then that's the place for you. But like I say, it's not just GKR. There are a lot of schools out there that do have a direct debit system. And if you don't train, you are still paying. Yeah, which I did toy with at once. But, I didn't really like it. But there was a discount on that. It wasn't a case of you. I mean, you literally are paying £6. But £72 a month for 3 people works out at £6 per week, per class, sorry, per week. And you can train as many times as you want. But like I say, people generally don't. Okay, well, I've missed the class, I paid for it, but I can make it up next month. Yeah, but you've still already paid your month's subscription. It's like paying a TV license and, not watching BBC, whatever. Why would you do that? That's insanity. That's crazy. So, there's nothing wrong with changing. And the one thing that GKR will do, and they've done it to me, well, they did it to some people that followed me, is they dangle a carrot and they'll say, look, stick with us, you'll get your red belt in 2 weeks. But that's not how it's supposed to be. Karate is it's a journey. It's not a destination. You don't do it. You don't get to black belt and then say to yourself, "I'm a black belt. That's it. I've finished." No, it's a long journey. It's a lifelong thing. It's a thing that you're supposed to do until when? Well, just until you quit, really. All right. So don't look at things as, well, I'm gonna grade quicker, or they've offered me this, and because they will. So yeah, look, just be careful. And this goes for any club. This isn't just about GKR. This goes for any club, any place you pay a direct debit to, which, yes, is convenience, but it's also an inconvenience. You got to make sure you're getting that money's worth, and that money's worth has to be, the fee that you're paying. You've got to get a service for that. So, yes, you can train twice a week and get, it works out at £3 per class. But that's just a sales technique. What you will have been sold on will be, oh, well, if you train 6 times a week, that's £1 a class. Well, that's right, but that's basically what you've been sold on. People will buy on emotion; they'll never buy on logic. So if you can sell something to somebody and trigger an emotion that person wants to benefit from, then they will buy from you. And that's what GKR has done to its people. Triggered an emotion. And the emotion is the joy of saving money. But if you're only training once a week, then, all right, yeah, fair enough. 72, £6 per class is about right. But just think about the classes that you may miss. Think about the times that you may be ill and you're still paying. The other thing is the bulk amount coming out of your account every single month. Now it might only be 6, 12, might only be 24. They probably do about 24, 25 quid for one person, or that might be the discount. I don't know how much they charge for per person, but still 25 quid a month it still seems like a lot of money, to like a bulk amount to be coming out. I prefer to go weekly, if you don't train, you don't pay, etc., etc. So yeah, a lot of clubs will do this. It's not just GKR. A lot of places do this, but that's purely so they can get revenue. It's not because they give a toss about the people. It's purely for revenue purposes, and it's so that they know that their revenue is in the bank before you've even trained, or before you've even gone to whatever class it is, football club, ballet club, whatever it might be. Yes, it's a convenience, but it can also be an inconvenience. So you've got to weigh up what's best for you, really, as an individual. Do you want that, or do you want to go somewhere that's going to appreciate you as a person? So, like I say, GK, it's always been about the bottom line. It's never been about people. It's never been about quality. It's always been about quantity. It's basically bums on seats. And like I say, yes, I did make a lot of money because I had a lot of bums on seats, but I got disheartened with all that. Okay, and it's well within my prerogative to change that, and I did. Last 5 years of my terms with GKR, I got disheartened that it was more of a business and less of a karate school. It was more about how many people we can get to X place, or how many people we can get to seminars and things. But I'll go into that on a different video. But my main point here is are you paying for something you're not using? And if you're not using it, then why are you paying for it? Okay? And yes, it's beneficial if it's twice a week, and that's how it will have been sold to you. People can still deal in cash. People can still deal in direct debits. People can still deal in. Why direct debit? Why is it not a bank transfer? Why do they not trust you to do a bank transfer? Why have they gone cashless? Why is that? I personally love the cash. Cash is king anyway. The times when, as soon as we all go to direct debits and we all stop paying for things via real money, it's just a number transfer then. All right, but that's just a bit of a conspiracy thing I've got in my head. So yeah, look. Just be careful. Just be careful. This is going to be. The thumbnail for this is probably going to be something made up of GKR money and me. But yeah. So look, just be aware. In fact, I might even just title it differently. Just be careful. Be careful. Okay. And if you ever wanted to change, or if you ever wanted to to stop doing that, there's probably going to be some sort of clause where you've got to give a month's notice. Again, that's about the money. It's not about the person. Why should you have to give a month's notice to stop a direct debit? You just go to your bank and cancel it. That's it. But then they'll probably chase you for the month notice that you didn't give. All right, so just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Don't pay for something you're not using. And if you are paying for something you're not using, stop doing that. Okay? But, what I would probably organise something. You see, I had somebody, I won't mention this, but I had somebody come to me a few years ago and they said, look, I can't afford to train this week. Okay? Well, if it was about the money, I would have said, all right, well, I'll see you next week. But I didn't. I said, look, just get to class. Just come to class. It's £6. All right. If you can't afford to do it this week, then we'll work something out. If you want to work something out and just pay an extra £1 for the next 6 weeks to cover it, then that's perfectly fine by you. All right. But I'm not particularly bothered right about that at this point in time. I just want you to come to class. But let me ask you this question. Would GKR allow that to happen? Would they let you say, do you know what? I can't afford to pay you this month. They'd say, well, you're not training then. Or would they? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I'd like to hear GKR thoughts on that. If somebody cancelled their direct debit because they couldn't afford to, or they called head office and said, look, I can't afford to pay this month, would you allow them to train still? Or would you say, you're not paid, you're not training? Right, I'm going to love you and leave you with that. I'll see you in the next video. The next video is probably going to be about the numbers and what we had to do as managers, and when it started to become more of a business rather than a karate school. Okay, so I'll go into that in the next vid. There won't be a video today because I'm going to the fair. All right. Like, subscribe, all the bum. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.